Are you on your healing journey and want to know how far along you are? I'm going to give you the 10 signs you are healing. Hey guys, I'm Laura and I make videos that will awaken your awareness. So I'm going to jump straight into number 1, and that is you can revisit your past without feeling any pain, anger, or anxiety. So that means that, when you've had a negative situation happen, a trauma that's happened, and if you find yourself, like when you're talking about it to someone, you're getting upset, you're setting your nervous system off, you might get a bit teary-eyed, that's how you know you're not healed. Like you need more work to do. But if you're able to sit there and talk about the situation to someone and it doesn't affect your energy, doesn't bother you in any type of way, that means you've healed from that situation, because you're able to sit there and talk about it and be okay about it. So that's the first sign that you are healing. The second sign is you implement boundaries with kindness. So you understand when you're on your healing journey, especially if you're an empath, this is normally an empath thing where we have problems with setting boundaries with people. We have problems with saying no. And when you're on this healing journey, you start learning the importance of having boundaries, because boundaries is how you teach people how to treat you. And I also believe part of the healing journey is like you just sort of decide, you learn your worth, you learn your value, and then you just start deciding that you're not just going to be like this people pleaser anymore. You're not going to allow people just to use you and take you for granted, So if you're able to start putting boundaries in place, then that means that you are healing. So sign number 3 is you become less reactive in a situation, and instead you become more of an observer. So I noticed this has definitely happened with me, going through the healing journey, doing healing work. I noticed this transformation within me. And then I've noticed in situations where someone could be like speaking to me in a way that's like disrespectful, and normally I would be feeling triggered, because I was someone that had anger problems. I get triggered quite easily and be reactive to the triggers. And then after doing some healing work, healed these certain parts of myself, I noticed that change where instead of like normally I'd be in the situation where normally I'd feel that build up in here and I'd start feeling triggery and start feeling like reactive. But then I noticed instead I'm not feeling triggery. I'm calm inside and I'm just sitting there sort of observing, able to just observe, and then I'm responding instead of reacting. So you sort of have this whole switch, which is amazing, because it's so much better when you're able to just sort of keep calm and observe the situation and then respond instead of reacting to your trigger. So that's definitely a sign that you are healing. So sign number 4 is you can see your parents as people with wounds and you have compassion for them. So this definitely happened to me on my healing journey. Before, like only within the last few years, I stopped and realized my parents are people with feelings. Like literally as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, I never actually saw them as people with feelings or people with like their own traumas and wounds. And I ended up having this realization, like it was only within like the last maybe like 3 years. Like, oh damn, they actually they actually have feelings too. Like it's just having that realization and then learning that, oh well, they actually had, abusive childhoods as well. Like they're walking around with all these unhealed childhood wounds. They grew up in an era where they weren't taught how to heal their traumas and wounds, and they don't know any better. And then you sort of understand, like your parents did the best that they could from their level of consciousness. And yeah, I definitely view my parents as with more compassion now, and it's really good when you can get to that place of forgiveness, because I had to go through that whole forgiveness process and let things go. But I got there, and it's really good to be able to get to that place where you can just acknowledge that your parents, it's like learned behavior. Things become a cycle. Your parents do the best that they can from their level of consciousness. They've been treated like with abuse from their parents, who their parents probably treated by abuse as well. Like it's just like a generational cycle of trauma. And being able to just, stop and view your parents like that is definitely a sign that you're on your healing journey. Sign number 5 is you practice forgiveness for yourself and others. So this is something I've learned on my healing journey, is the importance of forgiveness. I used to be someone that was very short-tempered, very angry, very like victim mindset, very good at holding grudges. I didn't talk to like my family. I had hardly anything to do with my family for like a good 10 or so years. So I could hold a grudge back in my younger day, but having the spiritual awakening helped me learn, the importance of healing and forgiveness. And even forgiveness for yourself, because sometimes we're not perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, and you sort of think back like, oh, kind of beat yourself up over it. But instead of beating yourself up over it, you start looking at yourself with compassion. You forgive yourself. You know you're not perfect. Or if someone hurts you, you forgive them as well. Like, it's because you understand that forgiveness is for you, not for the other person. Forgiveness is so you can let go of these negative emotions and release them out of your body and be okay with the situation. So that's definitely part of like the healing journey, being able to like forgive yourself and forgive others. Sign number 6 is you can say no without feeling guilty. Now this one's for the empaths again, because empaths are generally the type of people that have problems with setting boundaries and have problems with saying no. And you start learning the importance of saying no when you're on your healing journey. Reason being, a lot of empaths have a people-pleasing mentality, which stems from childhood. And like for me, I didn't even understand that's what I was doing, that I was people-pleasing. I didn't understand that I was doing it. I just thought, oh, I'm just being a good bitch to people. And then I didn't actually understand the negative aspects to being a people pleaser. And if you want to know more about that, I have a video on my channel, 5 people pleasing problems and the solution. I've learnt the negative effects of being a people pleaser and why we shouldn't be doing that. And so on that journey, you sort of start learning the importance of saying no to people instead of just saying yes all the time. Yes, I'll help you. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, 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 yes. You know what I mean? You just learn the importance of saying no. And you also learn that you don't actually have to give an explanation either. You don't have to be like, oh, no, I can't help you because I've got to do this and this and that. You learn that you can just simply say, no, sorry, I can't, and leave it at that. So sign number 7 is you are less sensitive to rejection. So you've been working on healing yourself. You've probably been working on your self-worth, your self-esteem. You're learning that you're worthy, whole and complete. You're learning your value. You know that you're an amazing person, and if someone rejects you, it's like, okay, cool, like it's no big deal anymore. And it's also because like you kind of learn and understand how not everyone's gonna like you, not everyone's gonna resonate with you, and that is okay. And you just learn to be okay with it. You learn to love yourself and love who you are, and if someone rejects you, it just doesn't bother you. So if you're at that place, that's awesome. That is a sign that you are healing. So sign number 8 is you become aware of your triggers and patterns. So this is also known as like doing shadow work, where we start looking at the unconscious parts of ourselves. We start becoming mindful of our triggers because we know that our triggers are the clues to what needs to be healed. So we start becoming mindful of what our triggers are so we can work with them and heal them. We start learning out patterns that are playing out. So one of the patterns that was playing out for me was I attracted narcissistic men. And I've learned why I attract them in, and I know that it stems back to my relationship with my parents, and it's just a pattern that's playing out from childhood because it's what's familiar to me. So we've got to, part of doing the healing work and the shadow work is just learning what the triggers are and our patterns are, becoming aware of them, and then working with them to be able to heal ourselves. So sign number 9 is your emotional intelligence has improved. You allow your feelings to show instead of avoiding them. So this is a great one, especially for like someone like me, because as a kid I was emotionally neglected. I wasn't taught how to express my emotions. I wasn't taught that it was okay to express my emotions. The message that was sent to me was that it wasn't okay to express them, so instead I bottled everything up. And that later turned into anger problems. And it also, I guess like the message that was also taught to me was that it was like weak to express emotions, and it was almost like embarrassing to or shameful to. And then now I've been on my healing journey, I've learned to be more vulnerable and authentic when it comes to how I feel, learning to express it instead of like hiding it. And so that's a sign that you are on your healing journey, which is great, because we need to, as human beings, I believe we need to develop more emotional intelligence. We need to normalize having feelings and expressing them, especially for boys and men. The message that's been sent to boys and men is, you know, you're not allowed to have emotions, you know, you have to toughen up. And I believe this is why suicide rates are extremely high amongst men. So I believe emotional intelligence is something that we as human beings really need to evolve into us. Sign number 10 is you feel gratitude for how far you have come. You're able to look back in life at your negative experiences, and you don't look at them as a victim. You don't think, oh, why did that have to happen to me? You understand that it served you in a way. It happened for you, not to you. That's a whole different perspective. And so you also understand that, like, these hard times, like, it builds character. These negative experiences shape you into the person you are now. You wouldn't be the person you are now without those experiences. So that's why you're able to look back with gratitude and just be grateful for the experiences and who you are now and how far you have come. So that is the 10th sign that you are healing. I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, give me a thumbs up or even write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, then subscribe and hit the bell notification, because I make daily videos on my channel. So I hope you stick around. Hope I see you on the next one. Peace.